Hey everybody, Claire here, and this is another edition of Cool Moms with one of the coolest moms I know, Laura Bear.
Oh, that's nice.
And you also have a really cool job, which is she works in fashion, but I feel like we were just chatting that when we think about fashion, or at least, people who are outside of it, a lot of times they think of Devil Wears Prada or, fashion designer type stuff.
And it's snooty.
And it's very different. How would you describe what it is you do?
So I'm very fortunate. I have a women's apparel line that I run with my dearest friend, and it's all made in Los Angeles. It's all about comfortable, easy clothing. It's not fashion with a capital F. It's just looking good, feeling good, and making it locally out of comfortable clothing.
I love that.
We were really on a search for finding apparel that was easy and comfortable, and as our families grew, we wanted to make it so that we could just get out the door and be easy, and so we weren't finding it after working in e-commerce for a long time, so we decided to make it. And so all of a sudden we were like really in fashion.
What is the most surprising thing about being a fashion designer? Like, did you have expectations going into it, and is it different than what you thought it would be?
It's way more friendly. I definitely had preconceived notions that people wouldn't help you, that it was very quiet, like everyone has their own little bubble, nobody wants to share. And it's just not true. I've experienced such the opposite. People really want to see you succeed, especially out here. They want the scene out here to grow in this industry, and so it's just been so supportive, which is like
awesome.
quite the opposite of what I ever thought when you think of fashion.
And when did you become a mom?
So my daughter is 3 years old, so in 2013.
Okay, so you became a fashion designer after you became a mom.
Absolutely.
But you were still working in fashion when you had Isla.
Yeah, when I was working in e-commerce, and it was fine, but working for someone else when you have kids is frustrating and hard. You want to spend time with your kids when they're around. It was working, but I wanted to make it more of my own schedule, so it was a natural progression to just kind of make it all happen, work for myself.
Yeah. Well, how do you balance that now? Because you're your own boss, you run your own company, but you're also a mom.
It's challenging. It is so hard. There are some days where it's harder and other days where it's easier. As she's gotten older and more opinionated, it's a little harder when they're little tiny babies. You can kind of just...
You just like tote them around.
Yeah. Along for the ride. But now she's 3, she has opinions. But you just make it work. I'm up late a lot, and I'm up early a lot. So you find it and you make it work. It's really... Women are amazing. I mean, men are too, but women are amazing in that she is my light. She's my everything. So she makes me want to work harder. So it makes staying up late easy.
Do you have Isla with you all the time, or do you work from home some days and then other days work away?
Yeah, so I work from home a couple days a week, and then we go into the office a few days a week. We had a full-time nanny in the office for a while, and it was fine, but there were days where it was like I should be working from home. So just the balance of it made sense to just have set time at home and she's comfortable there, and then set time in the office. So we just split it depending on where we're at in the season and production and everything. And honestly, it was a hard decision to not have full-time childcare because it is so helpful and you can get a lot more done. But it also is kind of amazing. She sees me doing these things and working with these other mom and pop shops, and you can see her watching and learning and being interested. I think it's good.
Well, she's here right now.
Yeah.
She's hanging out.
Singing Moana.
She's singing Moana right now. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's a balance, but it's a lot of fun too.
That's wonderful. Yeah. What advice would you have to someone who says, I want to be a fashion designer? Like, how would you encourage them to get started, and what's something that you wish you knew when you first started?
I think it's important to not be too snooty at first about who you work for. One of the first companies that I worked for in fashion was sort of a nightclub wear company, and it was very hard because it's not my style at all. So it's very
You were
hard.
totally decked out in club gear. I don't know what you're talking about.
For sure.
She's usually in a bandage dress. Don't worry about it.
That was exactly what their style was. But it was a really good opportunity to sort of see outside of your own realm and try to see other styles and tastes. Yeah. And it was a good way just to get my foot in the door, because then you meet people no matter where, if you're in the industry that you want to be in, even if you're at the bottom running coffee, you're still going to be meeting people and interacting with people. And those are some of the best connections that I still have today from way back when I was young. So it's good. You just have to be willing to put the time in, even if it's not your dream job right off the bat.
I was talking to some interns, because I've had interns with the Kitschy Kitchen over the years, and they would, you know, try to be figuring out what they want to do and what industry they want to work in. And my tip to them was always like, well, like they'll say something like, oh, I want to work in the music industry. And then I would describe to them the shittiest job in the music industry. Because like for me, my version of that was film and being a PA. Yeah. And if you aren't still super pumped to be there, even doing the worst version of the job, it's not a fit then. Exactly. Because the truth is like, you have to pay your dues.
Yep, absolutely.
You're going to have a couple years of really annoying jobs.
It just takes time. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, but it's how you cultivate those relationships that then you can leverage and turn into a career.
Absolutely. And if you can be positive through like the crummiest thing, then people are like, you've got something. I want to know you. Yeah.
Well, people appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and like, you know, being a mopey worker, knowing that never is a value add. Even if you do really good, consistent work, but you have like a bad attitude, I feel like people will remember you bringing down the morale more than even the work you do sometimes.
So true.
What is some of the best advice you've gotten about motherhood, and what's some of the worst advice? Because I've gotten some Lulus.
Oh my gosh, the advice, it comes from everywhere. From the grocery store line, to your grandma, to your mom. I mean, you know, I take it all with a grain of salt because I do feel like everyone's experience is so different. Some of the worst advice is probably, or I don't even know if you call it advice, but it's a myth, is terrible twos.
Okay.
It's not, they're still not real opinionated at 2. It's 3 that's really hard.
Oh, that's good. You totally had me going in a different direction. I'm like, oh, it doesn't exist at all.
No, it exists. Like,
and you're like,
3.
No, it's 3.
So that was a big, like, trip up.
Yeah, so she's like Isla's 2, and you're like, this is just like easy street.
Easy
like, what? No. Oh my god, I can't wait.
She's
teenagers,
still wearing
whatever.
the clothes I want her to wear. She's doing things I want her to do. No, they turn 3, and everything they have to do by themselves.
Oh my gosh.
For better or worse.
That's really funny. It is funny how that happens though too, but personalities are so different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like my sister, I think, was more like Isla, where she, like, from age 2.5, she dressed herself.
Oh yeah.
She was like, no, this is what I'm wearing. This is how I want to wear it. And like, meanwhile, like my mom, I'm pretty sure was like dressing me until I was 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, sure. She was like, whatever you want me to wear. I don't know. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Well, to be fair, it was the 90s, so it was always like leggings and a baggy t-shirt with like a matching headband. So it was like pretty, you know, not a lot of layering. But that's really funny. Okay, so it's 3.
Yeah, 3
Noted.
is coming. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Some of the best advice to savor it when you're like your most angry, to just step back and just calm yourself and savor it. I mean, so she like swats at me or does something, you know, not very
naughty.
Nice. Yeah. Naughty, exactly. It's hard not to just snap about it, and you really just have to take a deep breath. And like my mom said, okay, you're the adult. As an adult, I have to remind myself, I'm the adult. Don't just snap. You have to be like, okay, she's doing this for a reason. And usually the reason is because I'm pushing her too hard. Either she's tired, hungry, or wants to be home. It's always, if they're acting out, it's usually a result of you pushing them too hard.
Or it's a physical response.
Exactly. So hunger, tired, whatever. You just have to not think that it has anything to do with who they are. It's just where they are, their environment.
That's so interesting because, like, I don't know, to me, I would imagine, I can only speculate at this point because I have no idea, but this idea of when you're with them and you're talking to them, especially when they're verbal, and Isla's super verbal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It feels like you're talking to like an adult person in a funny way because you have such a deep relationship with them.
Absolutely.
And so when they do act out or say something not nice, or it feels like, come on, like you've got to
shocks you.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's like you don't act.
That's so hurtful.
That. Yeah. You're like, oh wait, you haven't eaten a snack in 2 hours, or we've been in the office for 5 hours, and you're probably bored.
Yeah, and they tap out a lot quicker than adults, obviously. But that's no, I think that's really excellent advice to just be able to kind of cool yourself down, like take a break, like step back and remember, I'm the adult.
Yep.
I'm an adult person.
It's really hard, I have to say that.
But that's why it's a good advice.
No, sure,
to be reminded of. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Gosh,
I really appreciate it. And please tell us all where we can find your amazing designs, because I want this.
Oh my god.
I love
shopcoast.com. We have summer launching, so you should check it out.
That's going to be amazing.
Give you a little discount code.
That's right. So guys, make sure to check the description below, because if you want to look as snazzy as Laura, which I'm sure you do, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to have to snoop through the lookbook and pull some stuff, because it's like I'm obsessed with this whole thing. And I mean, so please make sure to check out the discount code below. Isla says goodbye as well.
Just saying she has to go
potty. Okay, you go take her potty. Thank you guys so much. Like the video if you like it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.